Welcome to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. Welcome if you're new, welcome if you're back. Had some time to rest and reflect and celebrate. You know, when you have events like this, there's kind of a, oh my gosh, and then it happens. And then there's a bit of a like, oh, what do we do now? And so we had a day yesterday. We went to have lunch and we went to a bookstore. We went to Starbucks. It was just lovely. And during the day, I listened to an audiobook and I thought about what content I wanted to post. It occurred to me that I was watching a booktuber named Jen Campbell, who I recently just found, and she was going back over her book haul videos and saying, you know, what did I read? What didn't I read? And what do I want to read now or unhaul? And I did that years ago too. I would revisit some book hauls and just kind of check in and see where I was. And I thought, you know, I think that that would be good because for one thing, there are a lot of books. Sorry, I have an itch on my eye today. I can't seem to shake. There are a lot of books that I haven't gotten to, and I'm feeling a certain way about them. And there are some that I may never get to. One of them is in this book haul, to be quite honest. So I'm going to revisit my April 2019 book haul, see kind of what was on that book haul and how I did and what do I want to prioritize maybe in the month of April. So I'm probably going to just pick one, but we'll see what happens. So let's get started with the one that I'm not sure I'm ever going to read. And that is Lady Almina and the Real Downton Abbey, The Lost Legacy of Highclere Castle by the Countess Carnarvon. I've had this, obviously, for a long time. I must have gotten it on Book Depository because I have a bookmark in it. I have talked about reading this before. I have looked at it multiple times. I don't know what happens. I love Downton Abbey. I love England. I love the history of castles and families. I don't know. I don't know what the block is. So perhaps the answer to this is that I read a chapter. So let me start, or at least start a chapter, and let me see if that changes anything. So I'm going to go away, read chapter 1, which is called Pomp and Circumstance, and I'll come back and let you know if anything changed. I don't even know what that was. It is so dense. It is so detailed. It's I think it's going to be more about the Countess and about the family, Lady Almina, and about the family than it is about the house. And I don't think it has the same flair as Downton Abbey. Yeah, I don't think I can't even get through the first chapter. So I'm going to unhaul this. I'm going to be bold and unhaul this. I'm going to put it in a little free library next time I go buy one. So let's just be done with that, shall we? And also let's be done with whatever's in my eye. Here's some of the other books I hauled and read. One of them is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I don't know. So I had a copy of Wonder, and then I found a copy of Wonder for Candace that was signed by the author in a little free library of all places. So I gave her that one year for Christmas. It may have been 2019. I think I still have a copy of Wonder, but I read it and I loved it. That's a cute little book. It's a middle grade book. It's just adorable. Got a haul from the library in April of 2019, and I wanted to go over those. I got An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I did read that. There is a review on that, I'm sure, in a wrap up last in 2019 if you want to go back. But it followed a girl, as I recall, she was in some sort of an experiment where they were interviewing her and she wasn't certain why, and there was just, they were learning a lot about her, and it's a thriller, and it was good. I gave it 4 stars. I read Nevermore, which I also got from the library by Jessica Townsend. I had to think about it for a minute. And that was what started my love of that author and that series. It was magical and also middle grade. I really, really enjoyed it. It followed Morgan Crow, who was in a terrible family. She was liberated by a man named Ezra, I think, and taken to this wondrous society where she was educated and learned how to use her gifts and talents. And it's very enjoyable. And then I got Nine Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. This one was not my favorite. I gave it 3 stars. I had a hard time getting through that one. It was, I don't know, the plot was particularly weird. So it was about these 9 people that come to this spa that's owned by this woman, and she has these employees that support this experience, and they have to be like unplugged and disconnected. And one of them is a family. It's a couple and their daughter who lost their other child, and they all have some sort of reason for wanting to go to this spa. I don't know. I just didn't love this one. I have to say, I kind of liked the series adaptation better. Kinda. I mean, really, it's not my favorite work by Leanne Moriarty, but I did finish it and I did not purchase it. So that was good. I also had Bird Box by Josh Mallerman from the library. I had seen the adaptation of that and I wanted to read the book and see what it was like. And I think I liked the book better, but it was pretty true to the novel. And I was happy that I had read that. And I would like to read some more books by Josh Mallerman because I think he has a style that I appreciate. So that was my library haul. So then we went to Independent Booksellers Day. That's what it was. And I was in New Orleans for some work reason. And I went to a bookstore, Octavia Books, with my daughter and my partner. And I got Wondersmith, which is the sequel to the first book, Nevermore, The Calling of Morgan Crow. And I have not read it. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it, and I have not read it. I don't read a lot of middle grade, but that's really no excuse. The citizens of the Wondrous Society begin to go missing, and Morgan and her friends have to prove her innocence because she's accused of something deadly or something sinister. They want to make sure she doesn't get expelled from this place she loves. Yeah, there's my bookmark from Octavia. And there's Nevermore or Wondersmith. Goodness, I am like still post-wedding brain, right? Then Lisa Hall, The Relic Master by Christopher Buckley, which I did feature in that video, but I don't plan to read that. And I'm not even sure she still has that, to be quite honest. Then I hauled The Long Call by Anne Cleeves, which I think was a NetGalley arc that I received. It was a mystery thriller. And I did read that. I didn't read it, though, until the following year. But this was the first in the Two Rivers series written by Anne Cleeves. There's an adaptation of this as well, which I think I watched. I gave this 4 stars. I enjoyed it a lot. And there are 4 in that series currently. And I probably would pick up another one. A body that was found on the beach where this detective lives, and his name is Matthew. His dad has just passed away, and he has a relationship that estranged him from his father, or he's in a relationship with a man. I think they're married, and he is then transported back to this community where he grew up because of this particular death. And it follows him investigating this death. He's a police officer, and how it impacts his feelings about his parents, about his community, about his relationship, about everything. I really liked it. I really, really did. Then it was World Book Day, which is coming up again in April. I think it's around the 23rd maybe of April every year. And so in April, it was World Book Day, and I hauled 3 books. Now, this is actually good for me because they offer you, and you can get them through Amazon, they offer you the ability to get free as many books as are on the World Book Day lineup, let's talk about those. I got The Murmur of Bees by Sofia Segovia, which was translated. It's Mexican fiction. Her first book translated into English. A mysterious child with the power to change a family's history in a country on the verge of revolution appears. From the day that old Nana Raya found a baby abandoned under the bridge, the life of this small Mexican town changed forever. Disfigured and covered in a blanket of bees, little Simonopio is for some locals the stuff of superstition, a child kissed by the devil, but he's welcomed by Francisco and Beatriz Morales. I have a friend who read this and she enjoyed it, as I recall. Let me see what she gave it. She gave it 5 stars. Yeah, Patricia gave it 5 stars. It has a rating of 4.24, so that's a possibility. Another one I got was The Dark Heart, a true story of greed, murder, and an unlikely investigator by Joachim Palmqvist, translated by Agnes Broom. This is translated from the original Swedish. You would think I would have prioritized a book that is written in the country of my mother's family, but I did not. It is true crime, family secrets, love gone wrong, cold case. In 2012, millionaire landowner Goran Lundblad went missing from his farm in Sweden. They couldn't find him. They couldn't find any evidence. And then a disturbing phone call happens from his daughter, Maria, who says she's sure that her sister, Sarah, was involved in this murder. And so they begin to look at this, and it was an obsession that later turned into the ability to find some evidence that they could not find. That also sounds compelling to me. And the last one on this book haul that I got for World Book Day is All This I Will Give to You by Dolores Redondo, who is from Spain, and it was translated by Michael Meigs. A page burner about the secrets and lies of one man that led another into a treacherous house of strangers. When novelist Manuel Ortigoza learns that his husband Alvaro has been killed in a car crash, it comes as a devastating shock. He's now arrived in Galicia, where Alvaro died. Alvaro, maybe. And it's also where he hid his secret. So he did not apparently know his husband in the way that he thought that he did. And so now I remember this one and why I really was interested in it too. So you can see I have a really challenging dilemma here. I could pick Wondersmith, which is a fantasy middle grade read. It's pretty thick, but it's also short. It's a tinier book size, so it's over 500 pages. I'm going to unhaul Lady Almina, so that's off the table. I could pick The Murmur of Bees. I could pick The Dark Heart, or All This I Will Give to You. All This I Would Give to You has 4.13 on the rating scale. The Dark Heart True Story has 3.48, and I think I already told you that The Murmur of Bees had a pretty good rating as well. That was 4.24 stars. It's a beautiful cover too, right? Like that's just gorgeous. And all of these are on my Kindle. Mexico, Spain, and Sweden. Does that influence me any? I mean, no, not really. Here's one of my factors is I read a lot of thrillers, and I kind of feel like I need to not read as many thrillers. I mean, it just feels like it's endless sometimes, right? And I am noticing that I'm enjoying some other things, or when I get to a thriller and I'm listening to one right now, they just feel so similar. Gosh, this is really hard. I really didn't think it would be this hard. I thought there would be one that would really stand out. In fact, when I thought about it, when I reviewed the video and I looked back, I thought, oh, it'll probably be Wondersmith. I'll probably read Wondersmith. But then when I started looking at the rest of them, I was like, no, I don't know that I will. It's really hard when you have 2 books that you really are happy with reading and you just can't decide. Okay, so heads, it will be The Murmur of Bees. Tails, it will be All This I Will Give to You. And hopefully I can catch this dang coin. Okay, I can't tell because of these new quarters. Is that a head? No, that's a tail. I'm going to read All This I Will Give to You in my April 2019 book haul revisit. And then I'll come back at the end of the month or shortly after the end of the month and let you know what I thought. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with my indecisiveness and my trepidation and my coming back from what was a glorious, glorious weekend. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. And I've learned so much from each of you about the books you've read or the books that you're wanting to read. And so thanks so much for those of you who are subscribers. I encourage those of you who are not to subscribe. If you like this content, if you like other content, send me ideas of what content you'd like to see. I'm very open to that. I'm very happy to look at that as well. And as always, happy reading. Bye.